Hey guys, it's me, Jake Nikolopoulos, aka Jake, here for another episode of Road to the Universe. I wanted to touch on this weekend that I just had the Filex weekend. It was a big weekend, obviously fitness industry. Well, actually the Filex Expo seemed like it was a lot more of the fitness industry, had a lot of personal trainers there, had a lot of exhibitors that were promoting and selling personal training products and gym equipment. Whereas FitX seemed to be a lot more aimed towards bodybuilding. Obviously it had the pro qualifier there, and there was a lot of bodybuilders. And for me, with my workload, I was definitely a lot busier at FitX. I don't know, people in the fitness industry probably look at guys like me and like, oh, he's got too much muscle, you know, I don't want to go and talk to him. So I wasn't really that flat out at Filex, but it was good. It was a good break, and it was good to meet and network with a lot of other people in the industry. So that was for 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And on Sunday I got to train with, was it Sunday or Saturday? No, Saturday. I got to train with the guys from EHP Labs. So those of you who follow on Instagram or on Facebook, I wasn't aware of these guys until I met them on the weekend, but I had in my gym, I had some special guests. I had Ulysses Jr., I had Simeon Panda, I had Max Filicer, and I had Joseph Rakic. I think it's Rakic or Rakic, I'm not sure. But I had the boys from EHP Labs here training in my gym, Jake's Muscle Factory. And look, to be honest with you guys, I was when Massive Joe's, when Joseph told me the night before that that they were going to be coming to my gym and training, I had to Google them to see who they were. And as soon as I looked them up, I couldn't believe, you know, how popular they were. These guys, they looked fantastic. They were absolutely shredded. And I said to Joseph, of course. I said, you know, I'd love to have them in my gym. They seem like really nice guys. And look, judging by the photos on their Instagrams and Facebooks, I thought that a lot of them were photoshopped and they had a lot of effects. You know, judging by the photos, that's just what I thought. And then once they were in my gym, you know, they came here, they pumped up for a couple of minutes, they take their shirts off, cover themselves in baby oil, and I must admit, I was blown away by their physiques. They got fantastic shapes, absolutely awesome genetics, especially Simeon Panda. You know, his shoulder to waist ratio is tiny, so I can definitely see why these guys have so many fans. I'm pretty sure Simeon Panda and Ulysses Jr. pro bodybuilders, or whatever you call what they do for Muscle Mania. So, and they were nice guys too, which makes a big difference. They're not up themselves. They got however many hundreds of thousands or millions of followers on their Facebooks and Instagrams, and they were really down to earth guys. So I had them in the gym. Me and Steve Mills, the Vanilla Gorilla, we trained chest, and those boys sort of just did a little bit of everything. I think they pumped up, and then they were just taking videos and taking photos for the camera. So it was very, very good to have them in my gym and just to be able to see their physiques in person. You know, like, it's not on bodybuilding scale, you know, they're not massive guys, but I can see why they got so many followers, because, you know, it's an attainable physique, and well, it's attainable, but in saying that too, they've got amazing genetics, so obviously that helps. So it was a pleasure to have the boys in the gym. So that was pretty much the whole weekend, and that was the highlight, having all of those guys and meeting them. I wanted to answer a few questions in this episode. I'm not going to do a training video, just wanted to answer some questions for you guys. So, alright, the first question is from Jacob Courtney. He says, your thoughts on a high-fat, low-carb dieting for competition? Jacob, I only have ever dieted on high carbs and low fat. That's just something that's always worked for me, and something that I have done with my first coach when I first started training for comps. The reason behind that, to tell you the truth, I just like to know, I find it much easier for my body to use the carbs. It does burn them, my body burns through carbs real quick, and fats has just always been something that I've just got from, I get my fats from fish oil tablets. I cook a lot of my meats in macadamia nut oil. and I usually have a piece of salmon a day, so I get enough fats in my diet. But as far as dieting the whole time on really high fats, I got no idea. I know it does work it works. Some people prefer to do it that way because they say they get more energy on fats, longer lasting. It promotes testosterone, promotes growth hormone. So it does appeal to a lot of people to diet on fats, but it's just not something that I've ever done. So I can't really help you too much on that one. Tom Holmes says, what music do you prefer to listen to when working out? Well, it always changes, Tom. It depends. Usually I like to listen to rap. I like to listen to 50 Cent, Eminem, The Game, Exhibit, a lot of the old stuff. But then I've got other days where I come in, I want to listen to rock, or I want to listen to hard grunt, like grungy stuff. It really depends. But the majority of the time, I listen to rap or I listen to nothing. I'd rather sometimes just listen to the weights, listen to the way that I'm breathing, like on squats in between sets. Music sometimes can be a little bit off-putting, and definitely towards the end of the workout, I turn the music off. Because I find at the start of the workout it sort of revs me up and I get in the zone to train, and then come the end when you're tired, all you want to do is just turn the music off. So, what else I have here? David Adamovics says, is shaving the best way to remove body hair, or is it waxing, nair, etc.? This is a very good question, and one that I am highly skilled at. I am highly skilled at removing body hair as a bodybuilder. I've tried a fair few different things, and I think the best thing that works the best thing for me is shaving. I've tried to wax. I find I get irritated, the skin gets all puffy, I get those pimples and rashes, and I would rather just shave. So if you've got the time, shave. And nair as well. I don't know about nair. What does nair do? I'm pretty sure nair burns, like it's got chemicals in it to burn the hair off. So I don't know in the long run if that's doing your skin any favors. For me, I prefer to shave. So what a great question, David. Thank you for asking about shaving and removing body hair. Very good. Anthony Middleton says, hey Jake, is there a technique you use when applying your knee wraps, and would you recommend them? That's a good question. Knee wraps is something that, I do use knee wraps, but only on very heavy sets. I do not think knee wraps have to be used for a whole leg workout. Unless you're powerlifting and you're always trying to lift heavies, 4 to 6 reps, then go for it. But most of the time on my leg training, I'm doing between 10, 15, 20 reps. So, maybe on the last couple of sets of squat, usually once I go over 3 plates on squats, so 3, 4, and 5 plates, I'll be wearing knee wraps. But again, if my rep ranges are sort of between 10 and 15, I won't be wearing them at all. The reason why it makes sense to me a little bit, something that Dorian Yates said was wearing knee straps, if you're wearing them super tight, sort of compressing the knee joint more than what it has to be, and you're actually allowing the joint to grind. So it's rubbing against each other and wearing down the joint. And it sort of makes sense if you were to wear them all the time on all of your lifts. I do see some people wearing them on their hack squats, leg presses on every single set. So I prefer to just do them on the heavy set where you just want to take a little bit of that pressure off your knee. So that's when I'd recommend them. James Viz says, hey Jake, what are your thoughts on the recent aesthetic movement where guys at 110 kilos and over 10% are less popular than someone 70 kilograms under 6%? Would be good to get an opinion from someone with some actual mass who doesn't look like they've come out of a concentration camp. Well, James, my opinion on the aesthetics movement is, look, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing that people are still getting out, getting active, whatever. But for people to, as long as they're still training hard and they're good role models for people. Like some of these guys in this aesthetic cruise, that have so many followers, I definitely can't respect them, because they don't live healthy lifestyles and they haven't really done anything. A lot of them have just gone to the gym, they start looking pretty good, they've self-promoted themselves, they've got all these followers, and then all of a sudden they got their head stuck up their ass and they think that they're something fantastic. Now, but in saying that, like these people that I had in my gym on Saturday, Ulysses and Simeon Panda and Max Phillips there and Joseph Ratchich, like, these guys aren't massive bodybuilders, but they're nice guys. They know how to market themselves well, and they've got good physiques. So, I'm not against this aesthetic movement, as long as it's like anything. It's the right people. Some people, a lot of bodybuilders are dickheads as well. So, but this aesthetics movement it's probably a little bit more attainable than full-on bodybuilding. So I can definitely see why it's appealing to a lot of young guys. And let's not forget, a lot of the followers that these people have is young guys, and they look to them and say, wow, they've got the abs, they've got a lot of attention from girls and things. So that's more appealing to them than a big beefy bodybuilder. And I can see how, why, because bodybuilding is not for everyone. And majority, if you ask majority of even women, if you ask them a photo of Ronnie Coleman or a photo of Max Phillips or Simeon Panda, they're definitely going to go for the aesthetic guy. That's just how it is. So it doesn't worry me what they do. Neil Jones says, this is a good question. Hi Jake, belt or no belt when lifting heavy? This question's come up a couple of times and I've forgotten to answer it, so I'm going to give it an answer now and say to you, Neil, I wear a belt all the time. I wear a belt every workout. When I walk in the gym, I do my warm-up, I put my belt on and I keep it on. The reasoning behind that is because I've heard, I have read certain things and I've talked to a few people in the industry that have told me this also, but using my own you got to use your own brain when it comes to these things. Don't worry about all the forums and stuff. Just have a think about it. When you're lifting heavy weights, if you're not watching your stomach, you're pushing your stomach out, or lifting any weights in general. So you're going to be pushing against the stomach. Now, doing that over a long period of time, I think it definitely contributes to the stomach growing as well. So I wear the belt all the time, so I'm always pushing against the belt while I'm training. So for me, I think that it's a good thing. I'm not weakening my core because I'm still squatting, I'm still doing all my other lifts. My core's not weak. I know my core's not weak. I can still squat 4 or 5 plates. I've never ever had any back problems. I've never had any problems at all. This is something that I've seen, I don't know if you see some IFBB bodybuilders, some pros now, even when they do cardio, even when they're just walking around doing daily things. They've got like Velcro belts on underneath their tops, and I'm pretty sure they do that just so even when they're breathing and just relaxed, their stomach is always tight. So I suppose over time, the stomach's gonna expand. It's a muscle, I suppose, or your abs like any other muscle. So if you're always distended, it's going to end up growing. So I don't know the exact theories or reasons behind it, but I've always put a belt on for that reason. I'm trying to keep my waist as small as possible, and I find having the belt there is forcing my stomach to stay tight. So another one, Stuart Macaulay, or Macaulay, I don't know. Hi Jake, do you believe that a high carb diet that George Farah prescribes for his clients would work for natural guys? Cheers. Any diet would work for anyone. You just got to eat the amount of the serving sizes for the person. It doesn't matter whether you're on stuff, whether you're off stuff. You've got to eat for your own goals and for your calorie expenditure at the end of the day. So it doesn't matter what you're dieting on, but you've got to eat, or what sort of diet you're taking in, but you've got to eat for your body type and what you're doing. Obviously, enhanced guys can assimilate more protein and more food, but that doesn't really mean anything. You can still do any diet you want and just adjust it accordingly. I love dieting on high carbs. A lot of the people that I have in my gym, I diet them on high carbs as well. So it really depends. Like I said, a lot of it's got to do with serving sizes and getting to know your body. And if you're not using a certain amount of energy in a day, then don't eat so many carbs. So it's very basic. People try to complicate it so much. Eat for what you do or what you want to do. If you're only working off so much amount of calories or energy at the day, then it makes sense to take in enough to be able to either, if you're maintaining, then take in enough to maintain. If you want to grow, then take in extra calories to be able to grow. If you're trying to lose, then take in a little bit less. It's not rocket science. It's people try to complicate it and they confuse things, and it is so easy. Josh Turner says, "Hey Jake, what's your opinion on occlusion training? Thanks." I've got no idea on occlusion training. I had to Google it before, and I saw that people tie straps around their arms or around their legs, pretty much to cut off the blood circulation, and it's supposed to, I think, help flush fresh blood into the muscles. Or I've never ever heard of it before, and I've never seen anybody do it before. Like I said, I just Googled it now and I saw it, and I got no idea why. Why are we trying to bring out, people are trying to bring out all of these different sciences and methods to train when the way that Arnold and all that trained back in the day works fine? And people can't even do that. Like those methods have been around for years and years and years. And what are the methods? They're just train hard, eat lots of food, and be consistent. And go to the gym every day and keep doing it day in and day out. I don't understand what is so hard for people to understand about that. But that's the thing. Everyone wants a shortcut, don't they? Everybody is looking for that secret, and there is no secret. I've been training since I was 15 years old. I'm 27 now, so I've been training for 11, 12 years. And look, it comes with time. It didn't happen in a month, it didn't happen in a couple of years. 12 years of consistently training with weights in the gym. Probably I'd be lucky if I've taken off, a few weeks here and there. I think once I had an injury that I had to take off a couple of months with my training, but besides injuries or anything, I've always been at the gym every single day. So, people, like I said in the last answer, try to complicate and confuse things too much, and then you just end up in a mess. There's so much information, all these different training methods and things. How about we just train, work in a good rep range, 10 to 12 reps for a bodybuilding rep range, as heavy weights as possible for as many reps as possible, and eating a lot of food. I don't know what else. I can't really add anything else to that, guys. I have so many people that come into my gym and they want to know, what am I doing that's different to everybody else? What's the secret? How come I don't know so much about dieting? How come I don't know the science behind things? The reason I don't know the science behind everything I do, because I don't need to. I do the basic things. The guys that I started training with, Sam Ioannidis, I trained with him for many years, Graham Lansfield, Lee Priest, all these people that I've been with and trained with, none of them are all into this scientific stuff. They don't go get DEXA body fat scans. They don't be pinching their body fat and getting personal trainers telling them their body fat percentage every 5 seconds. They just train, they eat, they use the mirror as a guide, and that's it. They don't believe in all of these fads that come and go, because the things that Arnold and all of those guys were doing back in the day, they still hold true to this day. You can't beat hard work, and you can't cheat hard work either. You can say, but he's taking drugs, that's the reason why he looks the way he looks. No, I have guys that come into my gym, and I can tell you honestly that drugs are not the only reason why they look the way they look. Okay, the hard work is already in place. The diet is already in place. If they use something on top of that, then yes, they're going to be a better version of what they were. But a lot of these guys are already, they're amazing athletes to begin with. So if you're going to say that, if someone takes the reason why he looks like that is because he just takes drugs, that's bullshit, because I have people in my gym all the time. I have plenty of guys as well that use more drugs than I've ever heard of, and they look like crap. So I don't know, it can't just be the drugs. Everyone wants to say it's just that, but it's definitely not. I see it on a daily basis, and yes, okay, they definitely help. The guys that already have, like I said, they have everything in place. They have their diet, they have their training, they're strict with everything that they do. It's going to work fantastic for someone like that. But for all these people that think that it's just that, you're in for a rude awakening, because it's not. It's the hard work is what you can't teach, and you can't cheat it either. It's when I see a lot of guys that look amazing, I don't want to ask them what drugs they're taking. I want to shake their hand and say, congratulations, you've built an amazing physique. But now it seems like on all these forums and all this shit that people write, even if I post a photo of myself on the internet, in my comp shape or whatever, the first thing that people want to say is, roids this, or geez, he must have small nuts, or, all of the shit that these idiots write. Instead of just saying, he's worked hard for what he's got, and I could never accomplish that because I'm either not interested, or I'm trying to go to the gym, and just because he's better than me, I'm gonna put him down because I'm, useless. And that's what it is. These guys have no idea how hard I train, but the first thing they want to do is put me down and tell me that, you're taking drugs, that's the way you look. Bullshit, okay? Come to my gym anytime. I'll take you through a workout and you tell me if it's just about drugs. So, anyway, that's my little rant. At the end of that, sorry Josh to hijack your little, all you were asking me was about occlusion training. That turned into a whole big spiel about everything. But that is it for this episode. I'm going to end it on that note. Thanks guys for tuning in, and I will see you again on the next episode. Don't forget to subscribe to the video series, massivejoes.com. Not just to watch my videos, they've got heaps of other videos going up. Hopefully soon they'll put up the video with me and all the guys from EHP Labs when we trained last weekend. And so yeah, subscribe, stay up to date with everything that the Massive Joes guys are doing. So, Massive Joes and BSN sponsored athlete Jake Nikolopoulos out for another episode. See you next week.